Hello, hello. Once again, welcome to our how-to sessions. I hope everybody's doing fine and having a great week so far. For those new to the space, this is an open forum where we can ask any questions pertaining to the use of Nowsite. Uh, it could be beginner questions, elite questions. We will answer them. Keep it organized, the only thing that I ask is that you raise your hand when you have a question. I'll bring you forward, and that way everybody can share into the knowledge gain. I will have Robert in the chat as soon as he shows up. Hope everything is fine. And he will be assisting us during the course of that, during the session in the chat. So if you don't want to ask question directly, you can always put them in the chat. And as best as we can, we'll try to give an answer. I'm going to put all the links where you will be able to find all the follow-up information on what has been created so far, and where you will be able to find as well the recap of all these sessions. Good for everybody so far? Perfect, perfect. We will start with questions, how to, if you have any. And then if none, we'll go over into next conversation. Super Clay, we'll start with you.
For the second day in a row.
Hey, loving
I,
it.
I just want your advice.
Okay,
I've been having luck on LinkedIn and people are checking out my profile.
okay,
But I would like to contact them back.
okay,
So, what advice would you give me of kind of what to say to them?
okay. Well, one thing is for sure, if they are following you, then they're appreciating the content that you are posting, correct?
Correct.
So one of the clear opening that you could have would be thank you for being interested in the content that I've shared. What has piqued your interest particularly in those posts? Right? So that way, right away, they will tell you, well, you posted last time about this. That really prompted me to follow you. Can I know more about this subject? Right? It could be something like that, or even more simpler. Remember that we're in a space where technically everybody wants to connect with somebody else. Everybody that went and opened an account on LinkedIn was looking to connect with somebody else. So if they're following you, one of the simplest thing that you could say is, hey, I'm very curious to see what you are doing in this space. You've seen what I'm doing. Here's a few links, for example. Let's chat, right? Especially on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn as it is a business space, right? It's like going into a convention and trying to meet people that are like-minded to you or have similar interests. And what's happening right now at the convention, figuratively speaking, is that people are coming to your booth and saying, hey, what does Clay have to offer? So you just reach out. Thank you for your interest. Above anything, I think this is one of the simplest things that we should always start by doing. Thanking the person for their interest and then carrying over to the subject of that interest. Simply put, come,
Virgile,
go ahead.
um,
Sorry.
I've been in the same situation,
Hmm.
and I've been thinking that this would be a job for Nav, like
Absolutely.
getting their information and asking the Nav how to approach them.
Absolutely. But on top of that, that dynamic stays. Of course, I expect for everybody who have the nav, if somebody is following you, the next thing is to nav on this person to get as much information as you can. And the first conversation, most likely that nav would give you, would be reach out to this person and ask them about their interest or ask them about this subject without mentioning the company, which is exactly what we're doing in base form. After that, of course, you want to use the tools to help you in the formulation of this conversation. But the leading step is the same. You pay me interest, I need to pay you back interest. Make sense for everybody? So,
Very helpful. Thank you.
yes. Sometimes we tend to overcomplicate the next step when it's really straightforward. Thank you for your interest. What brought you to me? Or I would like to know more about you. Simply put, since you are giving me interest, then I'll pay you back with that same interest. Right? And after that, through the course of the presentation, you'll naturally be moving along the sales flow. Good? Any other questions in that regard? This is going to be important for those taking the Connect 10 challenge. These become very important questions, right? What do I do next? How do I message this person? Same goes for these group that you're going to be joining. These people are admin. Technically, if I join your group, you have the obligation to reach out to me as a new member. So they are definitely open for conversation. Thank you. I joined your group. I'm amazed by what you're doing. This is what I'm doing. Can I know more about how to operate in your space? Right? Simple things. And the rest will happen naturally based on what the client will give you as answers or objections. Right? Remember, we talked about how to approach objection handling. Acknowledging them is the first step. You can't handle something that you don't acknowledge. Right? Questions in that regard?
I
Anything
have a
else?
different question. I have a
Go ahead.
different question. Virgil, I post almost every day with the automatic post that now sites will make for you,
Mm-hmm.
but it seemed to post from the same part of my background. I put several books in there and only use one of them. I put several things that I've done in my past. It basically only use one thing. For instance, I grew up on a farm in a rural area, and it only will post from that. It won't reach out to some of the other things that I've put in there and trained my AI. So, is there a way to get it to move across several of the other things that you put in as as background in your profile and all?
Well, the thing is, when you're doing the surprise me, you're giving full control to the AI, so it will go and pick and choose what it likes the most. What you can do if you want to steer the conversation, then fall into the other tiers where you can add specific instruction on what part of your background you would want to speak about on that moment. There's also always a selfie AI. If you're doing pictures, you can write the content based on what it's saying. But here you're talking about more control. Are you also prospecting mostly for just general conversation about you or looking to actually connect on targeted interest, generating lead and conversion?
I'm on targeted interests,
So
basically to generate leads and conversion, build relationships, that kind of thing.
perfect. So it means what? You shouldn't necessarily be stopping here where you're trying to grow your social media presence. You should all be looking at the second tab as well, generate lead, which is essentially is a second part of the nav, the three-step here. Because here, what you're now doing is bringing in focus a specific business conversation,
Okay.
right? And this is when you're talking business. You're only going to take leads when you're actually coming into the space with a business interest. You know what you're talking about or what you're offering. You have a who in mind, a target audience, and you're telling them how to engage. Right? This is the only time when you can think about I'm posting for leads. If you're posting on the first part, you're posting for friendship, for attention, for momentum, which is also good because personal growth, professional development as well. So both have to be balanced, right? So that would be
Sure.
the workaround. Definitely, since the interest is business oriented, you should be in this space, generate lead, and you're looking at the business interest that you want to put at the center of your conversation. If you're going for general conversation, then yes, if the AI has a tendency of fancying a specific part of your background, well, you can take control by using the other options here and dictating basically what you want the conversation to be focused on.
Got it. Okay. Makes
Works?
sense. Sure.
Perfect. Equally
Oh,
important as well for those who are taking the Connect 10 because it's going to start, there's a post action in there. I need to post in that group and I need to share something from that group as well, right? So posting something that is properly calibrated to generate interest on your persona and your interest itself, if it's wellness or whatnot, without necessarily be too selling, since it's going to be a first post in that group. Okay, so equally interesting and important question for everybody. Anything else? Okay. I think yesterday we left off on a good conversation, how to optimize the contact form, right? And also the conversation around how to present us properly on the first contact brings me to the use of the digital card, which we covered a little bit. I want to go maybe over the mechanics since yesterday, leaving the meeting, we kind of sped through the process of creating a thank you page or creating that deeper follow-up action to when we receive a capture. This is important, right? We won't just leave the interest hanging. We have to hammer down or funnel into the conversation the next step that we want to take. I made available yesterday's documents on the how-to session, latest session. So you will have a related PDF. You will have also the challenge overview. I updated the registration form on the course section. So when you register, it will bring you to a thank you page, which is good practice. I haven't yet connected an email. So for those who have already registered, you won't be receiving it. You haven't received an email directly. It will be coming. What I recommend for those who are following this on Facebook, I created an event page. Also, manifest your interest there. It's something that we should all keep in mind to start using the different tools of the social media that we are primarily going to be actively working with. This will also allow me to give you updates. Like I said, the workshop will not be on the same link here. I'm going to take it into a different room to be able to explore on the Zoom webinar and whiteboard option to make this more interactive for those who will have a question during these sessions. So definitely take a tour of that. For today, what I want to do, if it's of interest to everybody, is we'll go over these digital card, how to set them up properly, and also add that thank you page as a first form of mechanics. Good for everybody? Of course, if you have questions during the process in and outside of what we're doing, you can time in, I will answer. Good? Perfect, perfect. In the case study, I have given you this template for you to take a look at. It was an example on how I will set up my digital cards for the desktop version, but everything again aligns on the mobile. Important to take a look at. I'm going to use this as a base of this demonstration to speed up a little bit the process. It's also going to give you a little bit of how to edit things or how to move blocks across different marketing assets. Okay, so here is what I offered, but I'm going to create something new, not necessarily from scratch. I'm going to go into the website that is already there, the digital card course template. I'm going to open it up. And from this, I can choose basically one of these one of these examples that I offered. So you see here, when you yourself download this asset, you'll have the first page, which is this first website template, and you'll have the second page as well, which is another website template. What I'm doing right now is I'm just going to pick the one that I like the most. Well, I'll take the second one here. I'm going to click outside these dotted lines, and okay, I cannot save, so I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup. If you're using this properly, you don't necessarily often will hit the bottom of it, or the max of it. So here I'm going to have to delete one at least here so that I can come back and save this. For those who are beginners in the space, you will have space to save, so you won't necessarily have to delete save section. For those who have been using the tool, remember that at one point you cap out. It was 30. That Kim let us know last time. Great information. So if you go beyond that, you have steps to do. So here I'll say DC card of choice. So basically, by doing this, whatever is in the border of, well, inside this blue line, and you can see that the section is highlighted completely. Whatever is in that blue line, in that frame, will be saved as a construct. Perfect. I can publish and exit. And now I'm going to start from scratch. So here, build my editor. Now remember, you always have the choice to use the AI to build content. In this case, I want to build it myself. And I'm going to use a blank template itself. So here, I'm going to click on this blank spot, and it's going to ask me basically basic information. I do have my business profile. I'll bring it in. And again, everybody should always start with a good business profile, same anchor, what, who, how, and basically you let the AI embellish the conversation for you. So here, Virgile Masterclass card, I would say. So I'm going to use this, for example, should I want to start inviting people to my masterclass. So you can see where I might be going with this. When I connect on a group, when I message the admin, I'll say, here is what I am. This is what I do. Here's my digital card. Take a look at it. Sometimes these simple things are not actually something that you want to overlook. If you have an asset that can be slipped in a conversation without necessarily highlighting what it's about to do or say, it's curiosity, right? And if I am an elite, technically, if I'm admin of a large group, I fall within that rank. If I'm an elite, I should have some digital asset that I'm using. So I show you mine, I expect you to show me yours, or what you will definitely do is take a look at what I've done and leverage or measure it vis-a-vis of what you're doing. So it's actually a product demonstration that you're doing without saying it. This is who I am. This is what I do. Here's my digital card. Take a look at it. And if you want, let's talk. It's not a pushing conversation, but you will see that link. You will take a look at it. And if you don't have that, you start asking yourself questions. If you have it, then you'll leverage, basically, you'll compare and see where this interaction might take you. Okay. Here it says it's an invalid one. There's most likely something that slipped in. It was a space. So I removed, and I'm going to build it, submit it. So it's going to give me this blank template, nothing there. Now, notice this is important to understand the dynamics of our editor. The publish is saving. Publish and exit is saving and exiting. Very important. And you have here the different version of the website, the mobile, and the desktop. And you can switch through that. Okay. All that you're doing is happening in terms of editing and updating information will happen in this gray section. Note you have this here, website settings. This is something that can be used here. You see social media. First, the logo on top is where you put your logo whenever you have one to put. The social media link, if you want those social media link after your menu, for example, this is where you go. Go ahead, Lori.
So I was wondering, when
Mhm.
you start building it, should you look and watch it on how you're building it on either one device or both, or go back and forth? What's your best practice?
I would, depending on the complexity of what you're doing, I would go back and forth, right? If you're not adding a lot of moving parts, then you don't necessarily need to go back and forth. As you are creating, you will need to go back and adjust the title's size because the font doesn't fall. But it really depends. It is good practice, anyways, if you do enough changes on one interface to take a look at the impact on the other. Okay, so that's good practice. So here coming in, you have all the settings that you added to create this platform. So you have the title of the website or the asset, the URL, you have the business profile that you can change at any point, and you have the pages. This is important. The three dot here will allow you to hide, delete, duplicate, or make the home page if it's not already the home page. In this case, you can see it's hidden. I cannot delete it because I have no other pages. I can duplicate it, but there's nothing there, and it's already the home page. This is important because in the aspect of creating the thank you page, you're going to start here. Go ahead, Kim.
Just a quick reminder also, you cannot save sections on the phone mobile view. You can only save sections on the desktop view.
Exactly. Hence why I always recommend editing on your desktop. Why? Because for me, I need space creatively to see where everything is falling. And I have big fingers. So trying to work it on the phone, unless it's a big one, is an issue. People will use their tablets, which is great. Be careful about the screen sensitivity because you're moving things technically with your finger, and that can be great if you have that agility, or it can be bothersome if you don't. Okay, so very important. So pages, and this is where we will be doing most of the work, but you also need to update information here. You have the business name. It won't change unless you want to change it. And then you have the metadata, very important. Here you see I have nothing. I will need to add it. And here, add image. Note, that first part of the conversation, when you're using the AI tool, will be put in place by the AI. So you won't have to struggle too much, but very good practice. Always make sure to update the social media share, especially if you intend to share the link. This is what will be visible at first. That link, that image, sorry, the website name, the description that we're discussing here, and the link. Okay, so in this case, I'll just pick this one, edit. There's one thing about editing, good practice. This is when you see the full image editor field. Be careful because sometimes we have our settings that have our screen too close. So we cannot see the rest of basically what we're adding here. When that's the case, if you're on your laptop, Control minus allows you to zoom in and zoom out. So you can see the full of what is being showed here. I'm just going to do this again. For some reason, the image didn't take. Just going to grab this one and bring it back here. So it appears, and now I can simply use this to add. If I want to add text to the image, I can. And basically, if I want to save this image, if it's something that I'm using, pulling from the AI search tool, which I can use as well. I went to my images for things that I had, but you have menus here. For those who are not familiar with this editor, this will follow you across all the tools. When you're changing image on social media, this will appear. When you're changing image in your email, this would appear. Same thing when you're changing image on your website. So you can use the AI, and the AI will also basically, well, in this case, I didn't tie, well, the AI will also allow you to search pictures based on your business conversation, right? Here, I'm about to do this for actually the masterclass. So I'm going to have it search and give me image around that. This is also one of the interests of always starting with that business profile. It allows you to have that extra help. Okay, just going to take this one for now. We'll continue. Okay, when you select the picture, you will notice that you have the scroll bar to navigate full interface just in case. And you also have the crop tool. I will crop things directly here, and we'll move on to the most important part, creating that architecture. For those who were with me, here, a little delay. Okay. For those who were with me a few sessions back, we had spoken about website architecture and mapping things out before creating. This is basically, in essence, what we are revisiting in this approach. So back to the page, the first thing that you want to do is add your thank you page or the next part of this funnel. This is, in fact, no different than the funnel or capture page process that we apply. The funnel is one form. We ask you for information, you give it, and I redirect you to a landing page. In fact, this is the real function or terms behind the landing page. I'm sending you somewhere. In this case, you're going to be landing on a thank you page. That's all there is to it. Right? So you see here, I need to create that page. Why? Because I need this menu. And of course, for the first part, I need it to be visible. So notice I added this page and the rest of the options that were there are now highlighted. I can duplicate, I can delete, I can hide the menu or make this thank you page the home page if I desired. There's still nothing here. I'm going to publish this and I'm going to preview. When you click on publish the first time, you'll notice that you now have the option of previewing it for those who are new, and that allows me to see the website. It's going to take a little bit of time to load. My internet is a little slow. While it's doing that, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to add my digital card. So here, I'm going to click on the digital pencil, and this is where you have your editing blocks. When you're starting new, I recommend opening up a page and having fun with each one of them, understanding what they do. They're essentially a click and drag environment. The first content section is what you want to always start or understand how to work with, because this is where you see these big plus signs. These are space holders. You can use the content here section format to decide how they're going to look. Okay, in this case, I don't necessarily need one. I'm going to get rid of it, or I'll leave it in place and show you what happens next. So I'm going to scroll down to my save sections, click here, and basically I have this last content save sections that I created. I'm just going to click drag because it's now operating just like a construction blocks. And when you're putting things in place, you see the blue line, it lets you know where you're going to be going. Okay, so I can go above or below the content section that is already in place, that plus sign. I'm going to drop it, and here the digital card will appear. I'm going to OK it. I'm going to click on outside this empty space so that I can highlight the content menu, and I'm just going to delete this extra one. So if you have these plus signs hanging around your website template and you want to get rid of them, voila. Okay, now that my digital card is in place, what we're focusing on today is repeating what we want to do here. We do not want this to be less at no action. What we want is find a way to always deepen the relationship that we just created. It's a capture. The forms are important. They can be used to collect more than just a name and the email. You have the option here of adding different options, radio button, large text block for large answers, drop down menu for choices, check box as well. So pick and choose what is appropriate for you to make the process of collecting the information from the client as easy as possible. Okay, so here I'm going to click on the form, and my interest is here, the button action. I'm going to use the drop-down menu, and I have my different options here that I can expand on. Okay, what I'm interested is redirecting to another page. So I'm going to take the URL. Okay, I'm going to go back to the previewed version, and you can see that I have home and thank you. And I don't know where I am because both of them are blank. However, what I'm interested in is each time I click on this menu on the thank you, you can see that the link here will change to that destination page. This is where I want the client to land. In fact, when you're trying to redirect, the only thing that you want to make sure is that you have a valid URL redirection link for that landing spot, that landing page, or whatever it is, right? And in a sense, for example, when you're coming in this space with an opportunity that is offered outside Nowsite, then these links, these how links, are these redirecting links that you want to start strategically using across your conversation, whether it's email, websites, or whatever. So here, booking, I'm going to click here, redirection, and I'm going to paste that link in. So you see now it's going to that thank you page. I'm going to OK it and publish it. It is saved. We're going to take a glance at what's happening on the mobile. Whenever, just for frame of mind, remember that whatever we do on the desktop will get vertically aligned to fit the navigation on our phone, right? So already visually, when I'm creating this, I know that, well, this is going to end up on the bottom of this. Okay, so I'm going to go here and take a look at it, and you can see here that everything is lining up vertically. Now you can see also the discussion that we're having around the font size, right? The font size here is readable. This one, not so much. However, I want to keep in mind that this is mobile, right? Don't make it big. People are accustomed to reading on their mobile a certain size, and if they need, they will zoom in. Don't make things too big. Be careful about that. I feel when a text or conversation is too big, the card or the asset is yelling at me. Go ahead, Vicky. You have a
Sorry, I
question?
had to unmute. Yes. If on your card there where you have the like cover in front of the video,
This one here?
is there like is there selections in there for us to choose, or do we have to go make that cover?
Oh no, that is a made cover. This is actually a video. Okay, that was made,
I know it's a
and
video, but I mean, you were using a cover on most of these examples. How do we go make a cover like that?
oh
So
well.
we can do a video too.
Okay, perfect. What I use is Canva. I use
Canva.
Canva, yeah, and allows you basically to create things simply. Whether you're at the beginner level or an elite level, Canva, I think, is a great tool. You can also do that on PowerPoint if you're good at it. Wherever you can basically create a panel and a presentation that you can then save in a JPEG or PNG format, you're good for creating thumbnails.
Okay,
Good.
so that's actually considered a thumbnail, but then it's put around a video that you made up.
Yeah,
Okay,
basically I created the visual and then I created the video. And when I published the video, it asked me, well, do you want a thumbnail or do you have a thumbnail? And I
okay.
basically use one of those. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, pleasure, pleasure. Okay. So here I recommend this is where often enough you want to start bouncing between the desktop version and mobile version because you're writing compelling conversation and you want to make sure that it fits properly in the design. Here, for example, if I go to the subheading, you'll see that it's at 10, very small, even for mobile. Usually I will stick between 17 and 18, and you can see it's readable. Okay. Uh, Whether you decide to center a line, write a line, or make it a block, you have your choices here. Usually I keep it center aligned. Okay. Coming back to the card, if I need to update anything, basically I click on it and same goes. It's basically in the gray section, then everything will appear. Okay, here I have a website as an example. I'm going to need a better a better redirection link. I'm going to remove this, and I can go, for example, to the since I'm doing this for the digital course or workshop. I'm going to bring them to this as the official page where I want them to go. So we'll go back and paste. As simple as that for the maintenance. Okay, so publish once more. It makes sure that everything is anchored. I have my redirection link to the thank you page. The rest is really just going back to this thank you page and starting to add basically the conversation. Again, make use of the AI. I'm going to click and drag. So I use the content section as the first part to demonstrate the digital card asset is a form, it's a block on its own. You have the form here. And next, basically for the conversation, for the description following the thank you, I'm going to need a headline. I'm going to click, drag, and drop. As simple as that. I'm going to come back and start using basically the AI at that point. And at that point, you're basically just following your ideas. Here, for example, I'm going to go back from the digital card from my profile. I'm going to go to the Nowsite How to Masterclass. I'm going to pick a tone, for example. And what writer heading, I'll say, thanking my specs for registering for my workshop. And basically, it will start doing the work. Thank you for registering. Boom, I can add it. Style, this is a big title. Heading, I am going to go and reduce it. I recommend for the heading, keeping them between 25 and 35, depending on what you're doing. It's enough if you're adding colors and such. Here, what I'm going to do is put it at 35. I'm going to go back here for the subheading, and same thing. I'm going to switch to my masterclass topic, be friendly, professional, persuasive, excited. And here, write a heading, or write a subheading outlining the next step of the process. Checking your email not to miss any notification, and be aware of all the upcoming details around our masterclass. I was pretty good today. Didn't make a spelling mistake, but it's okay. Regardless, the AI would have done it better for me, and this is what I'm gunning for. So you see here, boom, I'm going to accept it. Simply put, now I have conversation in place. I can go back and start looking at the form. It's at 24. I'll bring it to 19. And for strength, I will go basically with a color. Of course, at this point, you will be bringing in your color codes to make sure that the conversation is visible. And you're free to use any other tools to add more substance to this, right? You just registered. For example, if you have questions, as we discuss, why not? I'm just going to bring in the button. So click, drag, bring it in, following the blue line to know where it's going to go. Here, I want them to send me an email. So Virgile at now.site. And here, send me any questions prior to the session. Session. I put it in the wrong space. I just noticed here. Just going to cut this out, put it here, and via. It's important to be clear when you're doing this, so that way nobody's worried, right? If you're clear and simple, I know what I'm getting into, fear is out the window, right? Very important. And for presentation, I can drag an image, bring it here. We'll put it under the conversation because the conversation is primal. I want them to understand the next step. And for example, I can add more content. In this case, these were stills from the presentation that was created. I can add it to embellish the presentation. Okay, published. At that point, we have created what we have set out to do. I can go back to the blank section or the blank version, and I can just refresh this. Okay. At the beginning, very important, you want to consider the mechanics of it all. Then we can go for the embellishment. So here, everything is in place. I now need to hide this thank you page because you cannot navigate to it by default. And basically, I'm going to publish. Come back here from the home, and I'm going to refresh everything. And at that point, the only thing I get to see is the digital card with the first part of the conversation. And should I register or provide information when you officially capture, then you have that first part of the mechanic. We only covered 2 steps so far, the capture, the redirection. There's also the follow-up, what is happening between the scene that we need to address right away. So gonna go back, publish and exit. So that way, first, I can see the result of what I've done. Secondly, I can go now to the email and create that follow-up conversation. I am putting together this email here. It is basically what you will be receiving shortly. It's a created asset. I don't need necessarily to recreate a new one. I can just come here and add it for the automation part here. Be careful. We covered that in email. This is pertaining to this form activity. Whenever now I do this, whenever I submit information, while me, the client, I'm being redirected to your thank you page, you have also lined me up to receive this content. Okay, and this happens here. This here is for additional rollout. Case in hand, most of you have registered for the event yesterday, did not get anything, but you are in my list. So now when this is ready, I will email you out this content so that way you can take a look at it. It is a generic content for now. I can probably send it out to everybody. It's just giving you basically the lowdown on what is to come. Here, I'll show you. I have added a video. Always good to use these assets since we can all create videos. We are creating these together during these sessions. Go ahead, Tina.
Is it good for us to use a thank you after they've clicked on our card for anytime they click on our digital card? Does it have it automatically go back out as a thank you for clicking on my card, or thank you for looking at my card? Like, I noticed I've never sent out a thank you.
No, it makes sense. It's beyond looking at my card. Thank you for your interest, right?
Thank you for your
Out of
interest.
yes, out of everybody out there in the world, you stopped, took a look at my conversation, and even went as far as basically giving me your business, your email, right? So thank you for your interest. Thank you for your business. How can I be of service? It comes back to that idea of showing love, right? It's important. You came into my house, you are welcome. Thank you for coming. How can I assist? What brought you to me? I know I'm talking about marketing, but which part of the marketing is what lights your heart, right? Let's talk about that. And then we'll talk about something else. All right. So always keep that in mind. If you want to see the process at creating these for those who are new, I can repeat it. You can create things that you can assign, or you can recreate things from the go. So here again, I'm going to click on add new. Same thing. We're going to look at the business profile. And here, for example, thank you for your interest. More to come soon. So stay tuned. As simple as that. Here, assign the email that you're going to be using for the rollout. Go ahead, Lori.
So let's say should you be assigning your list that you're sending it to when, like after?
Sorry, you said?
So assigning the list, if I'm making up the email, I want to make up the email, complete it, make sure it's exactly what I want it to be, and then assign the list.
Yes.
If I go in and change that email, will it resend it to everybody on that list?
Well, remember that so far you haven't sent it. You said I created the list. I haven't added it yet. I want to wait for the email is ready. So once the email is ready, yes, for example, here, note, connecting the list is optional. Following into your first step, I would not connect it. I would build it, right? Once I'm ready, once I'm feeling comfortable with the whole sequence, then first, if the asset exists already, then I want to use that for any existing assets. And if I have lists that are already full, waiting to be thanked, then I'm going to send that. But thank you is never lost, right? Thank you for your business. I don't remember. Well, last year you did. We love you. Still, thank you is never lost, right? Thank you. What did I do? I have to take low, deep. It's actually a hook, right? If you see a subject line saying, thank you for your interest, we really appreciate the time that you spend with us. Who is this? Let me see. Oh, yeah, I remember. It's a draw, right? This is how somebody, some uh, phishing scams are ran. Oh, you won this. You all received one of that. Or there's a package waiting for you to be delivered. Enter your information. Oh, wait a minute, right? You won the prize. Just subscribe. Okay, so be careful with these as well. But that's it. So you see here, it's created. Coming back to the email, it's not connected to anything. So I'm working it. And when I'm happy, I can choose to assign it, right? And here, for example, I have a MasterCard class or card. I could assign this. I have a digital course. This one doesn't fall in, but I have the how-to workshop. I could assign it to that list. Okay, but be careful again. When you're doing multiple assignments, be careful of the overlap because, for example, most of these have an email assigned to it, even if it's not running on a regular basis. If it was running on a regular basis and I started adding you into more email rollout, then we run the risk of over servicing, over notifying, quote unquote, spamming. Okay, so be careful when you're doing these across automation that you're controlling who is in this list or who is already getting something. It's also important so that you understand the rhythm of your emails, right? Because coming back to our limitation, I have 500 a limitation, but I have a list of 2,000, and then I'm adding another list of 2,000, and then I'm adding other emails to go into sequence. Well, we're sticking the AI, especially if you have only one email for the 4 days that it's trying to run through its task, it won't be rolling out any other campaign. It's stuck at work. Okay, so be careful when you're doing multiple email assignment. If you only have one synced email, keep in mind that it's 500 a day across everything. So if you have multiple campaigns that you're trying to overlap, keep that in mind. Make sense? Perfect. So here you choose, I would assign it. And just in case, I would do things manually, not just in case. Since we are doing things manually with the nav, at one point we'll need a list where people will be added and not necessarily coming through the automation, right? The digital card is a great thing as well. I can have a generic message. Hey, I noticed your presence on social media. You have an interest in marketing. I would like to present what I'm doing, I would like to present myself and show you what I'm doing and see what we can bring out of this. And here's my link, right? The display itself is a show of expertise that usually piques the business interest if it's well aimed. Okay, perfect. Questions so far? Straightforward. So I expect that everybody will have a digital card ready for that Connect 10 challenge and definitely ready for the workshop by the time we get there. Go ahead, Vicky.
Did you say that or in the beginning of this that you the like this Firefly note that just got posted in the chat? Since we can't right click and copy it, that you're putting it somewhere else that we can go retrieve it.
Oh, the links, yes, everything that I offer, for example, the document from yesterday, if you go to our newsletter, you go to the latest video section, you'll have the video itself about our conversation, and you'll have the documents here that you can download. Good?
Yeah, I mean this part. This is that this Firefly just posted in the meeting chat. I can't grab it and copy it and paste it, and so it won't save to the transcript that I got going. So how can I get that information? Do I just have to type it all out?
Sorry, somebody put a link in there, you said?
It's some kind of Firefly note taker thing. People are commenting on it, so we can all see it, but I can't copy it.
Firefly
It's
note
like
taker.
I'll send
that
it
you
to you,
just
Vicky.
went through. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll send it to you, Vicky.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was outside of the conversation chat, so I didn't follow what was happening. Um, what I'll do at the end, actually, good thing that you brought this up. What I'm gonna do is do a review of the chat notes after we're done this meeting for one specific reason. I want to do a silent poll. So before you leave, for those who cannot make it on the Friday session for the workshop or have other days in mind as a preference, just state that date, that day of the week and time in the chat. We're going to do a silent poll so that way I'll review and see where the majority goes in terms of day of the week and time slot for this workshop uh, session that we're putting in place. Clear? Works for everybody? Perfect, perfect. Okay, so that is mainly what I wanted to share today. Everybody, get ready. Outside this Connect Challenge or this workshop, the dynamics that we just discussed should be in place and used, right? It's like going into your business convention without your digital card, without your paper card in this case. Okay, so now that you know that this can be used at any point. Oh, my name is Vicky. This is what I do. Here's my link. Take a look at it. Oh, my name is Robert. This is what I offer. Take a look at it. This is what I'm interested. Here's a link. Take a look at it. All right. And they will see. As long as the connection was made with trust or built with clarity, inviting trust, I won't be afraid to click on any link that you send me. Right? If I don't know you and you're cold reaching out to me without any build up to the conversation and you send me something to click, I'll think twice. Go ahead, Robert.
Confirming time for next Friday, 12 to 2 Eastern Standard Time?
Yes, Eastern. Right. It's always Eastern for our session, so keep that in mind as well. Help me out with this. If you're in a different time zone, try to create a mark in which time zone you are. So at least when I review, I can say, okay, generally everybody is in this time zone, and this is what would match the Eastern hour for this interest. Works? Questions? We have 5 minutes until the end. Again, you will see for now the workshop date as it is set to happen around the 25th of this month. So it won't be happening this weekend. It's going to be happening next week, next Friday, not this Friday, but the Friday after. And in between this, I'll keep you informed on the link and any other information or recommendation coming in to prepare for. Go
Where
ahead,
should
Robert.
where should we be looking for that link for Friday is what most people want to know.
It's going to be via email. This is why I said go register so that I will send you the
Yep.
email with a notification. Also, join the Facebook group event because most likely I'll be posting things there. And when we go live, I'll also post the link there just in case you won't be in front of your email. By going to the Facebook event, you'll be able to take a look at it. I'm going to send you a generic email by the end of the day with the Facebook page event, so that will make it easier for everybody to go register. And also, it will have you make sure that my email doesn't go to your spam, so you will receive the notification the day of the event. Go ahead, Tina, and after Lori.
So are we all on your email list? I guess that's what I'm trying to spit out.
If you are not, then you should be. I'm very specific. Be careful. Go to the Virgile course library. This is where you need to register.
Okay.
Okay, because if you do the how-to newsletter, you'll notice that I'm keeping these conversations a little bit separate because I need to control first what is happening with the masterclass momentum since it's being created new before we make it public. Okay, so specifically, you're interested, you're going to go to the Nowsite course, and technically those who have are already in that list, and I have you there. So you will be receiving this rollout. So it was here. Okay, so I have 18 of you here: Willie, Blossom, Raylan, Jackie, Dr. Lisa, Tina, Lori, Keisha. I have another Tina, Clay, Dinah. I'm going to work that one. Vicky, Dinah again. You're only able to do so when you change your information appearing twice. Good. I don't mind if you have multiple emails that you're monitoring. Do so. It doesn't mind. I don't mind. Howard, Cornelius, Cedric, Denise, and Al so far. Okay. So if you haven't heard your name, you are due to go register if you want to receive the information. Good. Lori?
Can you drop that link in the chat for us?
Absolutely. Well, it's already it's part of the here. Let me drop it. Drop it. I'll drop all the links at the same time. Second. Or wait, I'll drop that one specifically to avoid the confusion. Here. Copy. And in the chat. Go ahead, Marta.
Hey, yes, Virgil, on the page that you just had with the people that's on there, where you said Dinah is on there twice.
Mm-hmm.
The one where it says Martha at marthaspears.com, that's actually me.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So I
perfect.
don't know if you want to edit that.
Here.
Not that one. That one's Dinah.
Dinah, okay. And you said Martha, where are you?
Where it says Martha at marthaspears.com. It's under Dinah Beverly. Go down.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, that one. That's actually me.
Okay, so I'll put Martha here. Oh, sorry. Sometimes it's a little small. Let me increase my screen myself. So Martha here and Spears. That would be it.
That's it. Thank you.
Perfect. And save. Perfect. So part of the CRM maintenance. So that's great. So perfect. So with that said, I hope to see you either in meetings or on the next session. And definitely, if there are questions, I'm going to monitor this Facebook group because I think it's an extension of our community. It's easier to monitor the comments on that channel than dig into emails and also to exchange that way. So please, if you have direct questions, information, comments, you can use that also. You can also send me an email at virgile@now.site. I'll try to handle these conversations as best as I can in between these meetings. Good?
Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you next
On the
Tuesday.
dot. Yes.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Clay. I'm awesome because you guys are awesome too. So that's it. We
Thank
are
you, Virgil.
awesome. You're welcome.
Thanks, Virgil.
You're welcome.